All right, it's time for Yogi and the BeachMan. Hi, I'm Jim the Yogi.
And I'm Rick Beach the BeachMan.
We're two Michigan transplants now living in Southwest Florida.
In fact, we're cousins born in 1964, just a month apart.
I like to meditate.
And I like to play bass in a band.
I'm into chanting Om.
And I'm into throwing down some classic rock.
But together, we're on a mission
to promote people that are helping other people.
We want to make the world a better place.
One conversation at a time.
So sit back,
turn up the volume,
and get ready to laugh.
Because we like to have fun
while we spread the love.
Interviewing lovely people. Yes, we have fun.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Yogi and the BeachMan. Today we are with Risa McLaney. She's the owner of Prana Farms in Punta Gorda, Florida, and we're really excited to have you back on the show. Welcome, Risa.
Thank you.
Hi, Reese. Good to see you again.
Hello.
So Rick tells me you've been making some changes to the farm and doing some really cool things.
Yes, I think the last time we spoke, we were going into Halloween and the haunted walk, the pumpkin patch. So we did that, and Christmas trees. And then this spring, we introduced Immerse, which is our butterfly exhibit. So he built a butterfly conservatory, and we are making new butterflies. It's full of butterfly plants. It's got a little pond in it, and some koi and some goldfish. You can see the whole process of a life and emerging from the cocoon.
That is so cool.
I think the last time I was there, that you were all happy it had just gotten going.
Which one?
Your butterfly garden. It was just, I think you had just completed it last time I saw you out there.
Yes, so we opened that, and that was amazing. And the petting zoo. So we had a lot of people come through here, the bounce houses and the butterfly exhibit and the petting zoo. And just a lot of people through the farm, a lot of good energy, a lot of plants, a lot of butterfly plants, a lot of food plants.
I think you're kind of understating what your fall festival is like. It's total craziness. It really is fun for, a great family spot to go hang out for a couple hours.
The next thing that we have on our agenda is a butterfly festival, or a ice cream festival. So in July, I think we're going to bring in like 6 ice cream trucks, and we're going to kind of have an ice cream contest, ice cream competition, so somebody can get bragging rights to the best ice cream for the summer of 2025. So something just fun that you can do while you're bounce housing in the petting zoo. And we just there's not a lot to do around here, so kind of a place to hang out and just relax. We want to make a little kind of meditation space where you can go and sit with the plants or the animals. We are discussing maybe some goat yoga, definitely meditating in the animal area, because I find for myself that's amazing. If I'm having a bad day, I just go and I sit and I play with the baby chickens or the baby goats or whatever. And by the time I leave out of there, I forgot what I was even upset about. So it is very healing, cleansing, restorative. And I would love other people to be able to experience that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love meditating around animals. It always seems like they pick up on that vibration and they sense it.
They do. So yeah, I have been studying sound healing, crystal hearing, frequency therapy. And so I actually just on my phone downloaded an app that measures the hertz. So they say 432 is the ideal heart vibration frequency. So if you take the app, you can see what the different frequencies are around your natural environment. And so when I go out to the animals, it goes from, I think they say anger is between 100 and 150. And so 432 is being the heart frequency. When I take this out and the baby goats hit this, it's like 2000. Wow. I mean, it just blows out. And so when you get the kids giggling and that on the corner, and then the animals, and it just raises and clears. It just clears everything out is the very best way to say it, energetically. Even though we don't realize we're doing it, we're just playing,
And this is an app that you can install on your phone?
I just found it yesterday or the day before. I think it's I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's an app. I said measure hertz, it's an app that I just installed on my phone, and it'll measure the frequency of everything in your environment.
No kidding.
Pretty
I didn't
cool.
know there was like measurements on or some type of
I
detector on
can
your
tell
phone
you
that
the
could do
name of
that.
the app. Let me grab my phone. I'll tell you the name of the app.
Sure.
The app is called Spectroid, Spectroid. But
Spell that again for us,
toning,
please. Spectroid.
Spectroid, Spectroid.
Cool.
And so each chakra has its own note. And when you tone, different notes, it will actually line up the chakra. It will get it spinning properly if it might be off balance or wobbly or something, but you can actually use sound and frequency to put everything back in balance.
Sure. Yeah, and
So
each one has
this
their own
is an
seed sound
old,
too.
ancient healing that we have forgotten that we are going to come back into remembering. And it's amazing. I'm very, very excited.
Hey, since you've been, you said you're getting into sound healing and vibrations more and more. Have you heard of listen to any of Terrence Howard's stuff?
Terrence Howard, I don't know. It's possible I haven't not known who it was, but the big influence for toning and sound healing for me would be Tom Kenyon. He's huge. He works all the time with the whales. But there's quite a few out there. And the other thing I definitely want to do, we're working on we're talking about scaling down the nursery just a little bit because we don't have a lot of space. And we want a space that we can do like drum circles and Reiki circles and crystal bowls and, all of that. I know we definitely want kind of a building to do it in, but also the sound outside is amazing in the full moon, so something like that to incorporate the sound and the frequency, because we don't realize how big of a role it plays, but it is very important of keeping everything at a certain level.
Yeah, it sounds like you're creating a spiritual farm out there.
Oh, it's a spiritual farm. It's always has been a spiritual farm, hence the prana, that's your life force, your life energy. This started with an energy practice. And the farm is just part of the lifestyle of the energy practice. So everything kind of feeds everything else. We used to live in the cycle of nature, and it's a lot of it is remembering how to live that way and teaching other people how to live that way, just naturally in a cycle instead of the day-to-day that we've created for ourselves.
You mentioned that other guy that works with whales.
Tom Kenyon.
And they're
Tom Kenyon.
I don't know if you know, but I was on a submarine for a few years, as was Jim. But one of the really coolest things that I remember from that experience is we were cruising around in the North Atlantic, up around Iceland or England or wherever that is up there, looking for Russians back in the 80s. And every now and then you'd just you'd be laying there in your rack at night going to sleep, and you'd hear the whales just through the hull of the submarine. It was just loud, and it was not to where it would wake you up, but it was really cool.
But you could feel it probably coming off of the metal.
Yeah, at the time I didn't probably appreciate it as much as I would now, but it was still really cool and something I still vividly remember experiencing.
It's
Did
a
you ever
vibration.
get that opportunity? Did that ever happen with you?
I don't remember hearing whales, to be honest with you.
But we spent a lot of time, my boat spent a lot of time in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, I wasn't in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, that's where lots of whales are up there. And we'd hear them quite often. And it was really, I don't know. It was just cool. Not a lot of people have had that opportunity,
Right.
It's one of those cool things.
No, and I'm sure that has had a lot to do with raising both of your vibrations to where you're at right now, because they're our family. They're very connected to us, and we're all trying to help each other, just not try to blow each other up.
Yeah, that seems to be a big problem nowadays.
Yeah, just the little things.
Just the little thing. Yeah.
I don't want to bring this conversation to a downer, but for the first time in my life, last night I had a dream that I woke up to see a mushroom cloud out my Lanai.
Ooh.
I know, it was really
That's
a
an awful
downer.
dream.
To
Yeah,
see
it
a
was
what?
downer.
A mushroom cloud, like a nuke.
Yeah, like a nuclear.
You know, that's not going to happen in this timeline. We're in the golden timeline, the highest and best interest of the entire collective. So we're not going to experience that in this one. But you might have been looking into a different dimension.
Because I don't dream very often. Although recently I think I have been dreaming more than I ever remember in my recent past. But that just
Maybe
well,
A
decreased
lot of our
marijuana
fears
use?
play out in our dreams. That doesn't mean that any of it's going to happen.
no, I'm not saying I'm foreshadowing anything. At least I sure as hell hope not. But it was odd that like I said, just recently I've started to have more dreams and remember them, and I didn't even remember that till just now. But I did tell Carrie about it when I woke up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it was wild. I guess I don't
Well,
ever
see, that tells me right now, it's telling me that it kind of shows us that we can choose what we want to see. You know, a lot of what is in our dreams or fears, but we get where we put our energy, you know, and that would just tell me like, oh, I don't need to put my energy there. You know, that's all that would say to me is I don't, you know, that's there. I know it's there, but I don't want to look at that. I want to look at something, you know, fun and exciting and something that makes me smile. That's where I want to be right now, you know? So where you put your energy and your attention, that's what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I shouldn't even have brought that up. Sorry.
No, that's okay. There's a
That's
reason.
right.
That's the reason, because people need to know, like, you can have all kinds of crazy thoughts, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It can actually make you be grateful for what you do have.
And
You know,
you
there's
said
so many different, you know, you can interpret anything with the positive spin to it. And maybe that's why you brought that up, just to show you that you can take that any way you want to. It doesn't have to be bad.
And you said something about being in highest plane or something like that. Highest and best plane
Right now, yes. So we are right now, I personally am in what's called the golden timeline. So we can choose to look at any lifetime, with any version of ourselves that we could possibly be. So I choose right now to be the highest and best possible version of myself that I can be. I know it's a process. I'm not quite, but that's what I'm striving for. So as long as I am striving for the highest and best possible version of myself, as far as the highest vibration and coming from a love vibration instead of coming out of fear, which is what I, you know, to quantify that, as long as I'm coming from that place, everything around me has to be at that same vibrational level, because you get what you radiate out. Where your vibration is, that's what comes back to you. Whatever you put out is what comes back to you. So if you're having a problem with something, it's because that's in your energy field and that's what you keep putting out. So what I'm saying is, that's not a possibility in my timeline right now, because I'm in my highest and best timeline, and there's no chance that in my highest and best timeline I'm going to have some kind of nuclear problem. It's just not going to happen, because then it wouldn't be my highest and best timeline. You know what I mean? It's like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, no,
it's we're the creators. We decide what we're going to experience. And I'm going to tell you right now that I am not going to experience all of the doom and gloom. It might be there somewhere in the background, but it's not a part of my reality, because I just don't experience it. People tell me about it, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, but it's just not a part of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's never.
I don't know how else to say that. I don't know how else to say that, except for if it's just that if you're at that higher vibration, the negativity just it's not comfortable around you. It doesn't come around you. It's just not comfortable. It's kind of hard to describe it, but that's kind of what makes me think like that dream to me is bringing up this conversation right now, what you're saying. What are you talking about? So now you're like, wait a minute, what is a golden timeline? What do you mean I can choose which reality I'm experiencing? You know, if you're all the time listening to somebody else tell you about their drama, then you're experiencing a drama in your energy field. Like they're giving it back to you, you're listening, it's stuck in your field, and until you clear that, you're in a field of drama. Okay. But if you don't allow yourself to be around the drama, it's not in your field. It's just not part of my field. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to, our last vice president, I couldn't have picked her out of a lineup. I know that's not right, but that's just the way it is. And so I don't care what they do. It just doesn't affect me, because I go to what makes me happy, what makes me smile, what brings me joy. And so that's my experience.
I love that,
So
because so many people since the last election have been
it's a little more.
crying and sad and posting all this nasty stuff and mean stuff, and it's like, why let it affect you? I think you're right
A lot
on.
of
You're
it's
doing the right thing.
fear. A lot of it is they're going to do
Yep.
this and they're going to do that and they're going to do this. And I watch the world, I do work in the world, and I don't see a lot of the stuff that people are afraid, that I hear the
Mhm.
fear about. I hear just the fear. I don't actually see it happening,
Right.
so
Well,
it's a lot of fear.
well, corporate media is a fear-mongering machine. So if you watch the corporate,
And if you don't
corrupt
turn it
media,
on and you don't listen to it, nobody cares what they have to say. You just hang it up.
Exactly.
They call me, on the telemarketers all the time, and I just say, no, thank you, click. No, thank you, click. I don't even care what unless you're one of my clients. No, thank you, click. I'm sorry, telemarketers, but it's just either it's a part of your reality or it's not. You can let it bother you and affect you, or you can just say, no, thank you, and just move on to something that does make you happy.
Yeah. Even the social media
So
scrolling.
you have to buy what they're selling. What is it?
Exactly. Even the social media scrolling is like that, because you get so much garbage coming through that. It's kind of the same thing as watching the news.
You have to buy into it. If they don't have an audience, then they're preaching to themselves, and I'm not their audience. I don't care what they say, as long as they don't come on my farm, we're good.
And if they do, I hope they go through a radical transformation.
I hope so too. Yes.
I heard a story about
I'll cleanse them. I'll be like, pick.
There you go.
I heard a story about a dude who was kind of getting caught in that negative scrolling aspect. So then he made a deal. So for 2 days, he just Googled and watched, and his whole world was happy puppy videos. After like the third or fourth day, the only thing he's getting in his scroll feed is like happy dogs. He goes, it was the best couple of days of my life. Just nothing, no downer.
We did the same thing here. Yeah, my partner, he was always in the news, and I got tired of hearing it because my desk is right next to his. And now it's boats and pinup girls, which fine. I don't care. I don't want to, you know what I mean? It's what makes you happy.
Yeah, it's better than all that negativity.
It never makes you happy. It's all about being happy and enjoying it. There's no reason to be here if we're not going to enjoy it. I mean, to evolve, of course, but enjoying it is how we get there. You have to come out of love. You have to appreciate and enjoy to get to the vibration that we need to get to, so that we don't hate each other.
Yeah, so many people tie their happiness to something else. If I'll be happy if I have that, or if I get the boat, or if that person likes me, or whatever. My challenge for
people, and this is the hardest thing in any kind of, and I've done quite a bit of therapy with people, it always boils down to every single time, what makes you happy? What do you do that makes you happy, that you enjoy, that you look forward to? And most people cannot answer that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have something to look forward to, if you don't have something that brings you joy or makes you happy, then it's going to be hard to make yourself happy, and you're not going to do it with another person. You have to find out, and that's what it means to go inside. What makes you happy? Nobody else matters. And until you can be happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with anybody else. Nobody's going to be able to do that for you.
Absolutely.
And it's always the same thing.
Yeah. Happiness comes from within, for sure. Yep.
I know.
So you can come to the farm and sit under the Eleanor, which is our oak tree, and meditate on that.
You named her. I love that.
Exactly. Eleanor. Yes. Sit under Eleanor and meditate on, what makes you happy. Baby goats.
Yeah.
Baby goats, chickens.
Yeah. We came out and saw your Halloween display, and it was very impressive. I really enjoyed that.
What did you think of the haunted walk?
That's what I'm referring to. That was just so impressive. I mean, how much you put into it. And I think you had all those high school kids were volunteers, right?
A
Oh my
lot
gosh,
of them were.
they
They
were
had
having
so
so
much
much
fun.
fun. Yeah, I mean, it was just such a great time and great energy. It was just
You
very
would be
impressive.
amazed. There's so many barefoot kids around here.
Yeah.
At the end of all these festivals, I have so many shoes, but not really like matching pair usually.
Hmm.
I'll have like a number of socks and I'll have like 3 shoes
And
and
they
just
don't match.
think these kids have so much fun. They don't even, I've got like a brand new jacket out there right now. I'm like, they're having so much fun. They don't even care.
That's
They're,
so cool.
You
yeah, it's
need to
very
put
cool.
a lost and found section on your
I have it. I
website
have a
page.
lost and found section. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sunglasses, tons of sunglasses. And I need to stock sunscreen every time somebody wants sunscreen. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day.
I'm
I
gonna
think
come out
that
and meditate under Eleanor now. You got me intrigued.
yes, come and meditate under Eleanor.
I will.
Pick a fig from the food forest, but then don't tell Mike because woof, you'll be in trouble. Yes.
It seems
Yes.
like every time I drive down Vermont Road, and I always look and see what's going on at your place, but it's constantly evolving. It's like
It is.
every 2 weeks, if I have to drive out to Babcock Ranch or something, I I don't like driving the freeway, so I'll take Vermont out to 31
Mm-hmm.
and I always just see what's going on at your place. But yeah, like I said, it's this week there's another container or bounce houses or this or that or something going up or a
Yeah.
crane and tractors
And
around it.
we're not finished yet. We're still building, we're still morphing, we're still figuring out, what works, what doesn't work. And, the festivals are a lot of fun, but they're very labor intensive.
Hmm.
And we're having, permanent staff is tricky. We get like, it's harder to keep it with the volunteers to keep everything up and running. So we're trying to morph it into something that is just going to continuously flow and work.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like if somebody comes out, what do you currently have for sale there?
Right now for sale, we have all kinds of plants. So any butterfly plants, food plants, landscape plants. We have some indoor house plants. We have eggs and baby chicks and honey. And I have tinctures. I make tinctures. I make my own bug spray. And we've got some butterfly. We always have some kind of like a hippie garb, like butterfly scarves and fun stuff to play with. Because again, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
um,
Tell me about the
food
food plants that you have.
the food plants. So we have avocado, mango, papaya, banana, fig, all kinds of berries, mulberry, blueberry, blackberry, um, native, quite a native mulberries, lettuces, spinaches, herbs, just about anything that grows in Florida that in this climate that you can eat, we carry. And typically in a 3-gallon, like a depending on the plant, the 3-gallon to a 7-gallon plant, usually typically under $100, I would say.
Excellent.
So yeah, you can start your own food forest. And I think I said this the last time I was on the show, but anything that you can grow yourself and eat, if you can eat it within 15 minutes of picking it, it's considered a living food. So a raw living food is the best nutrition you can get. So if you can walk through your own little, food forest and eat a leaf off of something or a fruit off of something, that plant will actually, it reads your body chemistry. It will create for you exactly what your body needs.
That's so cool.
Specifically for you.
Now,
So you talk to your plants and sing to them and walk around them.
we had one woman on our show that could actually listen and hear the plants. And she said they're making sound, like she said mugwort always makes a certain sound in a certain frequency. And I find that fascinating.
That is amazing. I don't know that I've ever really tried to listen, but I will now. Bamboo, I listen to all the time. If you go to like any of the big botanical gardens and they have the big bamboo, like just big fat pieces, you can always put your ear to that and you can hear it all the way. Like it sounds like it goes down to the core of the earth.
Wow.
You can hear it. If there's any water supply close by, you can hear the water going through the bamboo.
Really?
That's
It's
so cool.
very cool. Any
have to check
bamboo.
that
Just
out.
put your ear to it next time.
So I want to bring it back to the avocado that you mentioned because I saw something recently, or I was reading recently, because I'm interested in getting some avocado trees, that there's different types of avocado plants, and that you should plant like a plant by a B plant or something like that.
There is the A and B plants do better when they're planted together. And I'd have to get my chart to tell you which is which. Um, the avocados that we carry are typically, most of the most popular ones are like a dwarf avocado, like the Haas, the Florida Haas, Super Haas, also called the Ooh La La. We have the Florida Coquette, which is like the big Florida avocado. We have a Glen avocado, Winter Mexican, Brogan, um,
A
just
Rogan
all of the
avocado,
Brogan avocado. I
like
think
Joe
it's
Rogan. Oh,
Brogdan,
Brogan. Okay.
something like that. Simmons. I mean, there's quite a few, and it's depending on when you want, when you want it to fruit and how big you want the tree to be, and then you have the A and the B. So depending on the different factors that you have, put a couple different avocado trees together, they're going to produce better together than singly.
When's the best time to plant them? Does it matter what season or?
I usually like to plant in the spring before a rainy season,
Okay.
but we haven't had much of a rainy season.
No.
In the last couple of years, it's been really dry. But typically, you would get them in the ground before rainy season, because then rainy season is going to help them get established. And then when rainy season's all over, they should be like double, triple in size. Hopefully,
Okay.
if we have a normal season.
So like right now.
Soon, yeah.
So like right now, yeah,
Like
you
right
want
now,
to plant.
you want to plant right now.
Yeah, like before June. I consider June kind of the rainy season.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I would have them planted in May.
And then it
By
starts
May,
raining-
yeah.
Then it starts raining
Okay.
every day at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I've been waiting to plant anything just because it's been such a drought and all winter's been dry.
We haven't had the rainy season the last couple years, like the everyday 2 o'clock thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you
surprised
might,
we got about a half inch of rain yesterday at my house.
Did
Which
you?
I was surprised.
We didn't get any.
Or
yeah, we haven't
actually,
rained in months.
Actually, I was at the mall getting order my new glasses, and when I walked out, it had clearly
Oh, okay.
rained. So I think we're starting to get it. We'll see how it goes. But
I always recommend, especially if you're gonna spend a lot of money on your yard and your food, that you have irrigation, because you can't really depend on it to rain. Especially we've
Yeah.
been very, very dry, and if it doesn't rain, your plants aren't going to do well. So I always recommend irrigation, regardless of rainy season.
Good to know.
But yeah,
Yeah, even the grass has been hard to keep green. This has been
it's
crazy
so
dry.
hot, yeah, and dry.
I don't even try to keep my grass green in the winter. I
Yeah.
don't even try.
Yeah.
Unless you're on well, I'm not paying for water, first of all.
Hmm.
But I do have the canal behind my house, but I don't have irrigation.
It's only because we reconfigured our yard and I didn't want a bunch of mud for the dogs and just all dirt. So I planted some seed and I'm just trying to keep it alive.
Oh, so you've been watering.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Just a small area. Yep.
What's your next big event coming up?
Next big event is Ice Cream Festival
Oh, that's
in July.
right. In July.
Yep. And then, no, I don't think we have anything after that until October. We're gonna take a little bit of, try to get away for a couple weekends, and that'll be it.
Yeah. So I can edit this part out if you want, but I think I heard somewhere something about some past live stuff that you've shared at some point.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite things to talk about. I do a lot of past life stuff.
Okay, are you cool with talking about that on the show?
Oh yeah. I'm cool to
All
talk
right,
about
cool.
it. I do past life regressions, hypnosis.
Oh, you take people. Oh, you do. Okay.
I do. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've been trying to get there, and I had somebody do a past life hypnosis on me, and basically walked down the hall, got to the door. I was in a real deep state, but couldn't go through the door. But I really want to see if I've can relate to some past lives that I had. But
Sure.
haven't been able to get there.
Okay. I can certainly help you with that. We can do like one-on-one hypnosis session.
Mm-hmm.
We can do, one of my very favorite ways is, depending on who you are and the comfort level, is around the fire. Just sitting around the fire and getting into kind of that meditative state of mind, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and around the fire with other people that can see. Because
Okay.
if the other people can see and kind of guide you or say, you know, I'm sensing this, what, you know, to kind of help you see it. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
without, what do you say, like putting everything in your mind, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But a lot of times if somebody else sees something and they describe it to me, I instantly am there. It's like they bring me in the space with them, if you will. So
Sure.
that's pretty cool. And that's one of the great things about hypnosis is, you know, when I am walking somebody through a session, as soon as they see something, I'm right in there with them and I can see it. So it's different with every person, but you know, it's a matter of just being able to relax um, to the point where you're not, everything isn't doubting, you're not overthinking it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people, they think too much and they overthink it and they can't get in enough of a relaxed state to kind of get out of their body into the astral because they're
Mm-hmm.
thinking too much. So that's where the hypnosis comes in, is getting them out of their mind, out of their brain. You know, the brain just loops and loops. And so that's the tricky part, is getting that person to that meditative state to where they can actually go to the astral and see.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you been able to do this for yourself on your own? Like look at past life regression without somebody else guiding you?
Oh yeah, yes, I have. But again, it's also how many times you've been. It depends also on how easy it is for you to leave your body.
Okay.
So some people, it's very easy for them. They just, you know, people that can see, psychics, things like that, they very easily leave their body naturally. Some people need a little more help, you know, but once you've left your body and you understand how it works and what it, how it feels and all of that, then it becomes easier and easier every time you do it. So it's pretty easy for me because I have left my body quite a few times, so I understand, and you know, it's pretty easy. But like somebody that's very in the physical, that's very doesn't understand the energy as much or the spiritual as much, they have a lot harder of a time leaving because, first of all, a lot of they don't believe it, they don't understand it, they don't even know what they're doing, so they're holding on to what they know, and they're, it's just afraid to leave the physical and go into the energy realm. So it's different for everybody.
Sure.
And that's
That
why
makes sense.
some of the, you know, the psychedelics help, because if you
Mm-hmm.
can have some type of a psychedelic that will just take you out of your body, then that problem is gone. You know, you're out of
Oh,
your
I'm
body and then
down
you
with
just do the
that.
work that you need to do.
I'm so down with
Okay,
that.
well, yeah, that's kind of my specialty. I do specialize in medicinals, and
Okay.
everything in nature is medicinal. It's just a matter of how you can ingest it and how much you can ingest.
Mm-hmm.
And like the medicines are typically poisonous, they're poisonous in nature, so it's, you know, again, how to ingest it, how much to ingest it. Mushrooms affect you the way they affect you because they're poisonous. So it's it's a delicate balance, and it's learning how to use nature, and it's being respectful to nature, and you know, into your body, and doing your research and being cautious and understanding and getting with people that have done this before. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
always doing your research
Sure.
and being
Absolutely.
safe.
So if you were going to guide, like, for example, me into a past life regression hypnosis, and I was open to doing mushrooms, about what dose do you think you would start me with?
Well, I would start with a minimum dose, a small, you know, like if you're going to do like a chocolate square, what is that, 2.5 grams or whatever it
Okay.
is,
Okay.
one chocolate square. And it takes 45 minutes, you guys. Don't, at
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes, don't eat three more because it hasn't kicked in yet. That's the biggest problem you have with mushrooms. Okay,
Yeah.
give it time, give it, if it says 45 minutes, give it an hour, and then just eat like one more if you have to, but not, you know, pace yourself, because if you have a lot of stuff to clear out of your body and it can all hit you at one time. Now, I've had somebody that they didn't feel anything. They didn't feel anything. They ate all the mushrooms. It was like eating potato chips with them, and, you know, and 3 days later, they're like, oh my God, at 4 a.m, it all hit me and I couldn't move. And I'm like, see,
3 days later?
3 days later at 4
Wow.
a.m. Yeah. So you really, just because something's not working doesn't mean it's really not working. It could mean very, very delayed. So for new people, you know, just again, carefully pace yourself, clear your system out, drink a lot of water, take into consideration, you know, how much body fat you have, all that kind of stuff, absorption rate, kind of like with alcohol, you know. Again, just pace yourself. It's better to not feel anything than to have something, you know, overwhelming happen.
And do you recommend having the mushrooms on an empty stomach, full stomach, eating any
Everything
certain
we're
things
started
with
on an
them?
empty stomach. No, always on an empty stomach, because the a full stomach is going to, everything doesn't get absorbed. It's kind of like wasting your mushroom if your stomach's full. So you want an empty stomach, but mushrooms upset your stomach. So that's why I put them in chocolate. When they're in chocolate, they don't bother my stomach.
Okay.
The tea, yeah, mushrooms will make you feel like you have to go to the bathroom a lot. Like it will, you know, it typically gives you stomach problems, but that's the biggest side effect of mushrooms. And if you put it with the chocolate, I don't usually have a problem.
I always felt a little like my stomach,
Nauseous?
all those symptoms, unless it do a chocolate bar, then that's.
Yeah. And yeah, just melt the chocolate down. It's a tricky getting the dosage right, but if you, the chocolate is definitely I don't know why, but the chocolate makes a big difference. For sure.
You're right about the dosage. You could get one square and it's a little different than the one right next door to it, just because of the way things filtered out in the food processor, however.
Yeah, and you too, if you're in a bad place when you do a psychedelic, you're very likely to have a bad experience. So it's not going to fix how you're feeling. It's going to bring it up to the surface. You know, it's medicine. It's plant medicine. It's designed to, it's supposed to help you clear and deal with, you know, what needs to come up so that you can see better. If you're not seeing in the physical, you need a different point of view. And that is the energetic point of view.
Yeah.
So in order to get that, you kind of have to get out of the physical.
Yeah, I don't think I've done any mushrooms
What is
for
it?
a while. I haven't done mushrooms in a while, but and the reason was exactly that. It was I wasn't, looking back, I know why I don't do them anymore. Because I was in that bad headspace, and it just takes any negative you have in your head and just blows it makes it super negative, and that to me, that's why I didn't want to experience that.
Yeah, what it's doing is, so a lot of people that want to experiment with this are having problems in their physical life. So it's putting you out of your physical into the energy, into the spirit, so that you can look down from a totally different, from your higher self point of view, you know, from the bigger picture point of view, just to kind of take you out of your body and look at you as if it wasn't you. And I recommend that to people all the time. Like, if you're having a problem in your life, step out of your body and give yourself advice as if you were giving advice to a friend. Because we're fantastic at giving advice to our friends, but do we take our own advice? Not usually. You know, so if you can step back away from yourself and give yourself advice, you know, that's kind of what the psychedelics do. They take you out of that physical loop that you're in and give you a different perspective. And then as far as past lives, so being in the golden timeline, that's kind of part of this too. So we're at the end, the end of the cycle of the old earth coming into the new earth. And the golden timeline is the collective's golden timeline for everybody's highest and best interest. So where was I going with that? I completely lost it. But
you started with the past life regression.
So yes, all of your past lives are going to converge into this life. So basically everything that you heal in this life is going to heal that wound in the life that it originated from. So, like for instance, I've got a lot of neck problems because I've had my head chopped off several times, okay, in past lives, and it carries the energy in my field. And so I have herniated discs and a lot of pain and things like that. All of these past lives are going to eventually merge into this one timeline, and everything as we come into this golden timeline, we're clearing these blockages from our past lives as we clear them from our present lives, and we all merge into this one timeline. And what we're supposed to be doing is remembering all these little pieces of ourselves as we go back and remember these past lives. Oh, I remember this life I was an iron worker, and then all of a sudden you're going to remember how to do iron, how to make things with out of metal, and you're like, I don't know how I know how to do this, but I'm really good at it. And then you're going to remember things in that life, and you're going to be like, maybe you see a person that was in that life with you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that person. I think maybe they were my neighbor or something, and you're like, and you feel like you know them. And it's little bits and pieces here and there from each life, and they all come together until we become whole again. And then that's what our goal is to bring all of the little pieces of ourselves from all of these past lives back to this one zero point, so that we can be whole again, and we can rise into this new earth and the new energy as a whole, and not scattered as we have been.
That's so cool. So yeah, for me, it's more of like
Ideally,
a curiosity
in the
thing.
golden timeline.
Yeah. For me, it's been more of a curiosity thing where I've had these
well, that's
like
it is a
sensations,
curiosity.
but if I'm even more intrigued if it can help the spiritual journey. Like if remembering some past lives and seeing something, like I've always felt like I've been stabbed in the back. Like I'd get this pain in my back as a kid, and it's like I have no reason for this pain. What? And it's like, like I get this intuition, like in a past life I've been stabbed in the back, and so it's like this curiosity things. It's like, okay, is this real?
And that's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm really curious
And then
about
the
it, because I'd
more
like
you
to see.
explore it, the more details you'll get.
Okay.
So since you've already seen it, basically, so when you get in that space and you start talking with someone else that can see, they can start filling in a few more blanks. You've got little pieces of the puzzle. You get someone else that can help you find the rest of the pieces to that puzzle, and then the picture becomes more and more clear. Once it's clear and you can see that whole life, and you take from it the gem, the wisdom from it. You don't need to remember all the details of the life. You just need to remember the lesson. You learned some big lesson, and there's a lot of little gems in each one. That's what we're looking for. So you're looking for that gem, like why was I stabbed? What lesson was there behind that? How does that affected this life? How has it affected everything? How has it affected how much I trust people? I mean, there's so many things in that one little piece, and it's we are deciphering all of that. We're remembering all of that, and we're bringing it all, clearing it, transmuting it again to make ourselves whole. It's like recollecting little pieces of yourself.
Have you ever heard of I just made this connection, and I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but have you ever heard of like someone getting a traumatic brain injury, they get hit in the head with a beam or something like that, then they all of a sudden can speak Portuguese or Chinese or Japanese. They have that ability, and they can speak fluent another language and never been exposed to it ever. I've seen a couple episodes of that over the years where that's happened, and actually believe that it does. I just made that connection to what you were saying.
I've experienced that through hypnosis.
You want to share about that?
I've experienced that through hypnosis, where people can speak different languages, and they're speaking, and they're like, I'm speaking, but I don't know what language I'm speaking. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit different, but yes, it's nothing is ever lost. It's all still there. It's all in the energy. We just have to remember it. We're waking up now. We're waking from a sleep cycle, and we're coming back into remembering who we are and why we're here, and how many, what we've done, and all of it, and bringing it all back to one point, because we don't want all these little fragments going into the new. We want one whole being.
Going into the new?
to the new energy. We're coming out of cycle. We're coming from the old earth into the new earth. We're coming from the age of Pisces, the age of control, into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of mind expansion. So we're coming out of the old energy into the new energy. And yeah, I mean, we're evolving. We're going from a carbon-based being into a crystalline being. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but I know that it's a process that's already in the works. And we're going into light beings. We're evolving into the point where eventually our bodies, we don't need our bodies like we do now. We're not going to need them like if you look at aliens, they don't have all the same, like their lips don't move, they don't have all their parts, they've evolved out of needing the body because they're more energetic than physical. So part of our evolution is going to be we're going to evolve into a more energetic being and less of a physical being. We still have a physical body. We still can use a physical body because everybody likes the physical sensations, but it's going to be to where we can very easily leave physical body, go to the astral, experience time travel, astral travel, go to different places and see and experience, but not actually bringing our bodies with us.
Are you familiar with Sadhguru?
A little more. Which one?
Sadhguru. Are you familiar with him?
I don't know about that one. There's a lot of gurus.
There are. Yeah.
I don't know.
He was he's one of my favorites and was on Joe Rogan not that long ago. Did you listen to the whole podcast?
Most of it.
Most of it. Okay. Did you get to the part where Joe Rogan asked him about aliens?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because Joe was really pushing. He didn't want to talk about some of this stuff, but Joe was really pushing him, as Joe's good at doing. And he got him to talk about communicating with aliens. And it was similar to what you're saying. It's like, he's saying, yes, but it's not in the way that you would expect this communication. In other words, I'm not seeing them in a physical form. I'm communicating.
They're telepathic. They communicate telepathically. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I imagine you probably could see them in a physical form, but that's really not. They communicate telepathically. I'm sure they have a physical form if they want to use it, but again, it's once you get evolved to a certain point, you're more energy than physical. You really don't need to have the body. Like you would have a body somewhere, I guess, but you don't necessarily need it. Maybe laying in the bed resting while you're floating around in your mind's eye, so to speak. It's all in the ethers. It's all in your mind. But very real. Like I haven't experienced all of this, but in things that everything that I've ever heard or learned, you can see, you can, it's like you're there, but maybe you're not actually there.
Sure.
I'm not sure. But
so
as astral travel, many people have done it. I'm not as blessed as some of them.
Oh, I was going to say, but I want to hear what you were saying about astral projection first. So go ahead. And you've said some people are better at it.
Like I say, some people can very easily do it. They can just leave their body and travel to, if they want to go see the pyramids, they can actually go where they can, it's same thing as if somebody has a near-death experience and they're hovering above their body and they can see their body in the hospital bed below them. You'll hear that over and over again. I was hovering, I was in the corner of the room hovering, and I could see my body and I could see everybody working on me. That's astral projection. Your being, your essence, your soul has actually left the physical body and is out exploring. Like you can see, you can hear, I don't think you can really touch, but you can go back and forth in time. There's really no sense of time. You can go look at different lives or whatever, but you can go in the ethers and wander about, and that's astral projection. And then you can go back into your body and wake up and have a ham sandwich.
Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, there was lots and lots of tax dollars of government money by the CIA studying exactly that and trying to figure out how to.
It's thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a thing. Everybody can do it. It's just a matter of
they call
practicing.
it remote viewing. And I remember listening to
Yes.
Art Bell talk show at 2 a.m, you know, on AM radio back at and they'd get these guys on there, and uh it's pretty wild. I mean, there's actual evidence that
It's pretty far
that
out there. Yeah. Like
they
for
can see
kooks,
stuff.
if we listen to that. Yeah.
They can see stuff in real time happening, you know, down the street or across the planet.
But the thing is, yeah, you ask about the earth and the new energy. So, I mean, I'm not of the new, you know, I'm not a baby. I'm not a, what do you call it? The new generation. But from my understanding is anybody that was born after, say, 2012 was born into the new energy, and the veil that we have, they don't have. Like if they want to access the astral, this younger generation, they just can. You know, there's nothing stopping them. So that's one of the reasons why things are different with them. You know, they don't have the blockages that we do. They don't have that old physical foundation that we do. They're born in this new crystalline energy, and you can even see there's even a change in our DNA strand over this time frame. I mean, we are evolving, and we're doing it so quickly, because normally it would take hundreds and hundreds of years to do what we're doing in seemingly no time, because everything is super sped up right now. You know, it's just there's a lot that's going on energetically.
Have you heard of the telepathy tapes?
No.
Okay, so this woman, I forget what her name, Kaya something, I believe. She started researching children that were nonverbal, because these nonverbal children were using telepathy and communicating, using ESP and seeing things they shouldn't be able to see. Some of them were blind and able to see through other people. So she started doing all this research.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that she found out is there's a place called The Hill. And it's a place where these young kids go and meet. It's like astral projection, where they go and have conversations and meet and tell stories and have fun and play games,
That's super.
all in the astral world.
Oh yeah, I know in my heart. Yeah. Well, when you have one sense that's offline, your other ones are stronger, you know, and these kids they're designed to bring in a higher vibration, a higher frequency. You know, we're in a battle of light and dark, and these kids are made to carry the light.
Yeah.
You know, they're just it's up. We've been upgraded. Let's just say that. Upgraded.
Because you literally just explained like a VR headset.
Yeah. Yeah, except they were doing a very controlled test on these kids to chart or to monitor their ESP and their telepathy, and there was like, they're hitting 100%. They're not like 70% of the time they're getting these things right. 100% of the time they're telling you what.
Veil. There is no veil.
Yeah.
I heard something briefly about that. I didn't check it out too much, but it's really amazing, actually.
It is. It's worth listening to, because it's more and more we're realizing that we have these abilities. We're just blocked.
All we have to do is be able to connect to it. And one of the biggest blockages that we have in connecting to this information is just not believing that we can connect to it. We block ourselves. We think, who am I to be able to access information? I'm not deserving of this. And the second you block that in your mind, you can't access it. It's blocked energetically. So all you have to do is be open to possibilities. Don't shut it down. Don't have a firm we don't know what we don't know, and there is so much we don't know.
Absolutely.
So,
and they were saying that these kids don't allow people in with, I mean, they're very sensitive to energy. So when someone does come in with bad energy,
they can't.
They are shut off from that person.
It makes them sick. It makes them sick. You can't. I have the same problem, and I don't leave them very often. I like maybe twice a week. Like, I really don't like to leave the farm, but I'm really super sensitive to energy. And yeah, it's anything in your field, you pick it up. It sticks. If you can keep your vibration to a certain level. Okay, so I think I've had this description before, is like the refrigerator magnet, right? So if the refrigerator is moving really, really quickly, that magnet, it won't stick to it. So our vibration, when we get to a certain vibration, any lower vibration is just too slow and it can't hang on. So the only way to keep yourself protected, without just leaving the situation completely, is to keep your vibration to a level that the lower vibration is just not compatible.
All right. So that leads to the question. Someone
And
wants to raise
the
their
one thing
vibration.
that
What are you teaching them?
That's what I was just getting ready to say. The one thing that I'm really working on right now is how to raise your vibration. So they say that it's not mantras and trying to physically do all these different things. So basically, you have to be in the mindset of what it is that you want. If you want money, you have to be in the mindset that you are wealthy and you have fortune and that you already have the money. You have to feel like you have the money, and you have to act in, like, to me, it's like pretend or make believe. Until it actually comes, you have to pretend like you already have it. Because as soon as you feel like you don't have it, you've created lack. And now you're blocking it. As soon as you feel like you don't have it, you block it. So you have to be like, I've already got this. The universe is just, it's like Amazon. They're a little about a week behind, a couple weeks behind right now. I ordered it on Amazon. It's on its way. So I already know I got it. Some kind of way to say that I am already all of this that I want to be. Because as soon as you don't feel like you're this thing that you really want to be, then you're not. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if
I do, that's often the missing ingredients and people being able to manifest.
You have to resonate at where you want to be. You have to already resonate there. So, and then when you can hold that resonance, that's when the world will shift around you to match it. It's like you're trying to match the world, but the world has to match you. But it has to match you at where you want to be, not where you're at. Because usually where we're at is not where we want to be. So to me, it's like playing pretend. You have to pretend until the world can catch up with you. The best way I can describe it. It's the best way I can describe it,
Yeah.
And then, of course, drink lots of water, eat high vibrational living foods, stay away from anger and drama, turn off the television or the news, just leave on anything that makes you laugh, that makes you happy. And be around the animals and come and meditate underneath Eleanor. That's it.
I'm down. I'm coming to do that soon.
Okay.
So when's the next full moon drum circle?
2 weeks away. So we're at a new moon. No.
Yeah, we don't have a public forum for it yet. But I don't know. It is about 2 weeks away. We have a little smiley face moon right now. It's just a little tiny.
It was beautiful last night.
It is. It was.
Because I think that's going to be a winner, is a drum circle.
Yeah, we're definitely going to work on a space for that.
That would be fun.
Maybe we'll just do the next one underneath the tent up there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put it up there. Check meetup.com.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be fun. And it's a great place for it too. It's just, the farm is such a cool place. It's.
Thank you. Ooh, maybe we can do it in the animals. Would the animals and the drums go together? There's like a big open space.
I don't know if they would like that. Would
I'll
they be okay with all that? Yeah, that's a lot of high vibration for them.
I think that depends on the animal. Because my old dog, when I'd play bass, he would literally sit in front of the 14-inch cone speaker so he could get vibrated. Blah, blah, blah. And now my current dog, as soon as I turn it on, he runs away.
Yeah.
So it really just depends.
Yeah. I was thinking about like lightning and fireworks. Some animals really get freaked out from that. Yeah. And drums might be the same.
Yeah. I don't know. They'd probably be okay. The goats would probably, they'd just be noise in the background. They'd be backup singers.
Be like, where's our drums?
Yes, exactly.
And I have a couple nice djembes too.
Yeah.
Tambourines. Okay, so I can donate to the party. Just let us know what it is.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, the one that there is a drum circle every Saturday night at sunset that was at the Charlotte Harbor Park that's now moved to over here. What's the one where the pickleball courts are?
Gilchrist?
Gilchrist on Saturday nights.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
So if people listening want to hit a drum circle Saturday nights at sunset, they can catch that one. Yeah, probably an hour before sunset's the best time to get there.
And then always the one at Nokomis Beach.
Let me
yeah.
work on that and see what we can come up with. Like I say, I'll put something up on meetup.com and probably Facebook if I come up with something.
Really cool. Love that. Oh, Risa, any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it certainly was a pleasure having you back on the show.
Yeah. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to hang out for an hour. I have to drive.
Thank you so much.
So,
we should definitely hook up for a drum circle this month.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm down.
What so if someone wanted to come out to Prana Farms and buy some plants and maybe get some eggs and pet some of your goats, where what are you open?
So right now we're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8:30 to 2.
Very good.
And just outside of Punta Gorda, Florida. In Punta Gorda.
Yeah.
But outside the town.
Yeah. Yep, not far. All right. Well, thanks again. We really enjoyed you being on the show.
Thanks for hanging out, Risa.
Thank you guys. It was good to see you.
So if you just listen to this podcast and you appreciate the content and the work that we're doing, we would love your support. Look in the comment section of this episode. Subscribe, rate us, comment. This gets our podcast in front of other listeners. And if you noticed, we don't have advertisers. For the cost of a cup of coffee, you can help keep it this way. Become a supporter right now. We'd appreciate it. I'm Jim the Yogi.
I'm Rick the BeachMan.
Peace.